then here tonight, Regan?
Oh no, it's definitely a massive surprise. No, it's not. No, it is not. It is not at all. He's won he's won stages, he's won the road course, he's won other races. He literally dominated Canadian Tire. He came through Mid-Ohio. Like it I mean, being a cutoff race though at the same time, I feel like tonight might be a little bit more difficult for him. It probably will be his biggest challenge thus far, but at the same time though, it might not be surprising to see him completely pull away from the rest of the field. So
as we bring it live here, looks like they've just started the pace lap here, and just the one pace lap, given that it's a road course, a little bit longer than your standard track. With normally we'd have 2 pace laps, but just the one here tonight. And again, it's Peden leading the field. Yeah, Peden leading the field away, and he's got Jose Mercado there on the outside of row 1. And then we've got Corbin McCauley there in third in his Red Dirt Racing number 17. And I believe it is Mike Nickens, last week's winner, who's drawn 4th position here after qualifying. So a couple of GTR guys there in the top 4, and I believe we said Jacob Nelson rounds out the top 5, and indeed that is the number 9. So we got the 3 GTR guys occupying the top 5.
yeah, there's literally no surprises with pretty much any of the top 10, if I have to be kind of honest. But yeah, I mean, at the same time though, if there's no surprises, then it's still going to be quite competitive.
It definitely should be here. And P6, we get another Tornado Alley driver in the form of Leo Jameson, the number 94 out of Atlanta. And I thought I spied Bob Drew the third somewhere there on row 4, the number 6 out of Miamisburg. I believe that's him on the inside, so he's starting in 7th.
That's correct.
As they come into the final corner, it's going to be the Gator leading them away. And he's going to look to take a bite out of the field early. And here's the run up to the line. Green flag racing right about now, as tonight's Rampage Coffee Company 110 at the Glen is underway. Peden leads them into turn 1. Mercado going in on the outside, or inside, excuse me. But that run, it might give an opportunity to Corbin McCauley to get up into second, and he's taken that. But he's going to be wheel to wheel with Mercado coming up the hill. So even a little bit of early excitement here. But again, guess who's driving away here on a road course? Obviously, we're just half a lap in, but Jonathan Peden's kept his nose clean first few corners. He's off and running.
It appears when McCauley and Mercado were battling for second place, they were coming through the S's. There may have been some contact, maybe even some. I think Mercado may have been in the wall there. I don't know what exactly happened, but there definitely was some contact, which is why you can see McCauley is keeping kind of a bit of a gap there in second place, but it does still appear to be Mercado behind him by the looks of it. So far so good. Mercado might try to get back at him though after what may have happened earlier, if there was some maybe a bit of early fireworks, if that's a possibility. And yeah, maybe it does look like that.
And Mercado's got the position back. So you basically telegraphed it there, Reegs. Down the start finish straight. Mercado moves back up into second.
They're racing tight already. Jeez.
With the exception there, as you saw him go through. Oh, Mercado into the wall early.
Again.
So loose. McCauley just kind of, I don't know if he's just kind of getting him loose through the turns or whether there was contact or what happened there. But that 41 was wiggling.
By the looks of it, okay, yeah, that's a bit of a weird one to judge because of, it's the game, watching online cars go through it. It does look like there was a bit of contact there, though, but obviously you can't really judge it, though. We probably have to get some word from the drivers, but yeah, it does look like something may have potentially happened there, but yes, it's just now Mercado over McCauley. Now it's a bit more clean by the looks of it, so yeah, it's Jonathan Peden just pulling away. Mercado second, McCauley third, and quality-wise, because of the software we're using to communicate, I can't tell that well.
Oh, my apologies. The 9 and 18 look awfully similar, but it looks like Nickens
now.
just kind of gave a gentle bump to McCauley, and he's fallen a couple of positions as a result. McCauley down to 5th, as it looks like both Nickens and Nelson, have gotten through. Now under pressure from Leo Jameson is the number 17.
Yeah, I was about to say that Jameson's coming up here, McCauley now. Yeah, it's already some really content. McCauley looked like he was going to be good in second place, but something happened there with Mercado. Got a lap or two earlier there, and now he's starting to fall back a couple spots. But again, it's still pretty early. There's plenty of time for stuff to go on. And now the thing is, though, if this is what we just saw here for just the start of the race, imagine how the restarts are going to go at the in the beginning of each stage.
Everything's going to be so chaotic here as we're following along with Mike Nickens, who's moved up into 3rd. Of course, last week's winner at Michigan. And he, I believe, has turned in some solid road course results here as well. And Nickens, not really much to worry about tonight. He's obviously through to the round of 12. But certainly, would love to keep the momentum going if he can, as he tries to track down GTR teammate Mercado. Go ahead.
It looks like Jameson has passed McCauley for 5th place, so that will put McCauley now in 6th place by the looks of it.
Yes, we got it right here. Good eye on that. And it looks like he might be under pressure here from, I think, is that Bob Drew the third behind him? Don't think so.
Yeah, that looks to be. Yes, it looks to be.
I guess it is.
It is.
All right, so we'll continue our trek through the field. We'll get our first close look at Jacob Nelson here tonight. He's up into 4th now. So we got GTR guys running 2, 3, and 4. And right now, it would appear, as we go back quick, it would appear that not many are catching John Peden right now, as it looks like he's got at least half of that start-finish straight on 2nd place Jose Mercado. And there you get a better sense of the gap in the background. As we'll continue our trek through the fields, get our first close look at Leo Jameson, who, as you mentioned, got past Corbin McCauley there a few minutes ago, and that puts him up into 5th place. But it looks like McCauley might be trying to get a run off of him here on this straight toward those S's, or the bus stop chicane, whatever you want to call it. And it looks like Jameson keeps it pretty straight there, but McCauley gets on the inside.
He's going to take it.
He does take it, and we'll see just how wide the 17 goes to try and defend. Looks like McCauley got the better exit, so there's a move for 5th place. So Corbin McCauley finds his way back up.
Yeah, it seems to be kind of that seems to be kind of the pattern that's happened with almost every road course race, especially with McCauley. I know Canadian Tire, he did seem to have the winning pace, but the restarts with him were just very, very congested, very chaotic. Especially, I remember the Moss Corner Hill was a very that corner got very tight. There was a lot of pack racing there. Just cars are going all over the place, and I think he was one of those that was unfortunate to deal with some circumstances that he did not like. And then at Mid Ohio, it looked like he even had some potential on one of the stage starts there. Even he had actually had a strategy, I believe, that put him at the top for the I believe it was in the final stage. So, and then once again, some circumstances kind of hit him there as well. But he has the potential on the road courses. I mean, he literally has experience in winning on them and getting good finishes there. But the thing is, though, this year with them seems to have a little bit more chaos, especially with him. So the big question is he able to kind of keep it a little bit more clean this time? And if there is some intensity, like, is just going to go for him? Is going to go against him, especially with him being 4 points below the cut line there in that second to last spot? This race is going to be integral for him if he wants to get into the next round. And it looks like there's about some 3 wide action here almost, but McCauley and Jameson might have gotten a bit together there. This is going to give the opportunity to Bob Drew.
Indeed it has. Bob Drew, the big beneficiary here, as he looks to move up into 5th. McCauley going wide. Jameson trying to follow him. Drew and McCauley almost door to door here out of turn 1. Looks like Jameson's moved up. McCauley, the loser in this situation, dropping down to P7. But again, Bob Drew the third just being patient, biding his time. It had potentially a winning strategy last week at Michigan as well. Just might have gone in a lap or two too early on the tires as Drew tries to hold on. Contact there between Drew and Jameson. Jameson's going to wind up on the outside. McCauley's going to have a run here. He might grab a couple.
Whoa, he's wide.
Great battling here.
4 cars. That's 4 cars right there at a bit of a pack because of all that. This might help McCauley a little bit. They're still going at it side by side between Drew and Jameson. It looks like Drew has taken advantage. Oh my goodness.
Tom Janikowski looking to join the fray here as well. He's also on the outside looking in playoff-wise right now. Just 1 point out as it stands. And now we got 4 coming down the start-finish straight. This is 5 through 8 you're seeing on the screen right now. Looks like Jameson is 5th, Drew 6th, McCauley 7th, Janikowski there in 8th. And getting word that we're already on the final lap of stage 1. So I'm going to take a wild guess here and say that Jonathan Peden is the man leading the field around here.
I would think by now he might have lapped a car already, to be honest.
He may well have, but there you see, there are still some cars in the distance. But very much in the distance here as Peden comes through the final couple turns. And into this tight right-hander for the last time in this stage anyway. And Kel Surprise, it's the 53 of Jonathan Peden. He takes stage number 1 of tonight's Rampage Coffee Company 110 at the Glen. And I know we were focusing on some of the other battles, but really the 53, it's just been kind of academic here for him. As I think Mike Nickens may have actually pipped Mercado here for second place in the stage.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Peden dominance is there. Some people might just be like, whatever. Like it's not it's not surprising, obviously. It's just like, whatever. But then the thing is, though, you have all these battles going on in the back, like we were seeing there the whole time between like 5th and 8th and stuff with like Jameson, McCauley, Bob Drew 3rd, even Tom Janikowski was coming in there, and 2 of those guys are below the cut line right now. So that is the main thing to focus on right now. Like we're probably going to see a little bit more like lead car intensity more towards like the later rounds, especially like maybe even the round of 8, But more so right now, it's going to be kind of a time to like especially focus on what's going on in the middle there because, like Mike Nickens is already in with that win, and then Peden, Jameson, Higginbom are already kind of pretty much advanced. I mean, there's no guarantees, but they're like points ahead of the cut line. Like they're way ahead. So, I mean, it's kind of more just seeing how close the cars are in the middle of the pack as we get underway with the second stage here. It's Peden and Mercado going at here for the lead. Mercado trying to get it away from Peden, but they're going to remain side by side coming through the S's here. And it looks like, they're getting close there. Mercado is able to clear him, and it looks like he's finally going to get a decent turn through the S's as he has been a little bit loose with some contact and some wall hits in the first stage. But now it appears he has been able to adjust to the track properly, and he has taken the lead from Peden. Maybe everything I just said there, like maybe we will get some lead battles in this race, but who knows? It's still early.
It's very early here. Matter of fact, opening lap of stage 2, as you mentioned, Jose Mercado jumping out to that early lead. Jonathan Peden, our stage winner, in second. And I believe that's either Nelson or Nickens in third, the other one in fourth. And while they continue their way through this second stage, we'll go ahead and give you a quick rundown of what the top 10 looked like. So, again, John Peden with the stage win, Jose Mercado in second, Mike Nickens finishes third, Jacob Nelson fourth, Leo Jameson rounded out the top 5, Bob Drew the third took 6th place, Corbin McCauley grabbed 7th, so that's an important 4 stage points for him. Darcy Ford comes home in 8th, Tom Janikowski there in 9th, so a couple additional stage points for him. Mike Marini rounds out the top 10. He's another guy on the outside looking in, but again, road courses, things are just going to get tighter and tighter and tighter.
Oh, yes, we had obviously Peden dominated the first stage there, but now Jose Mercado is trying to see if he can use the winning in strategy to get himself in the next round. He is in the playoff standings. He is currently 26 points ahead of the cut line in 7th place right now. So He is. You would think he's probably fairly safe, but again, there's no guarantees with anything whatsoever. I mean, it's literally just rounds of two. It's just 2 race rounds, and these races are kind of short in a sense. So obviously, Mercado trying to get it done a bit of the easy way. But again, though, Peden could come right back and figure things out. Maybe he's kind of taking it easy right now. We have no idea what's going on in his mind, so we probably shouldn't speculate or judge too much. But yeah, so far, Jose Mercado now becomes potentially the dominant car.
Yeah, and as I say, we're just kind of in this middle stage here now, and as you referenced, Mercado kind of building up a little bit of a gap here, at least in these early parts as he comes through. Again, S's bus stop, whatever you want to call it. As we'll check in on Corbin McCauley now. It looks like he's tucked in behind Bob Drew III here again. And I think right after we cut away, I think things might have gotten a little bit spicy between those two at the end of the stage. Just based on what I've seen and heard, I think we may have had some fireworks at the end of the stage between those two. I don't have any further details on that, but that is what I've heard. So I would not be surprised if we see a little bit more aggression, particularly out of the 17 here.
I mean, as the other McCauley, I can confirm I heard nothing on the as I'm on the other side of the wall here. So yeah, I can confirm with a totally credible source that I heard nothing.
Okay.
So.
Well, we'll have to do a little bit of digging in on that a little bit later as we move along now to
there's a car in the wall there. Somewhere in the back.
Okay, just went back to the McCauley angle here. He's gotten ahead of Bob Drew. Perhaps it's the 6 that got entangled there. Certainly,
that would be Bob Drew III. Yes, that would be Bob Drew III. I checked back here on the stream. That was definitely him.
Good eye on that as we again go back to Mike Nickens running in 3rd place as he comes through final couple corners to complete another lap. And I think, if my memory serves, I think we only have the one green flag pit stop here at Watkins Glen, and that'll be stage 3. So that's the only spot where I think pit strategy will be coming into play, but we'll see how that progresses here as we progress on to Jake Nelson.
I suppose I do have a bit of another source here. There might be some potential texting fireworks, but I think that's probably all I should say. Out of respect, I probably should have a bit of professionalism there. But yes, I can confirm with another source that the fireworks are continuing on. There appears to be some potential lagging complaints as well. I don't know. I can't go any further on that because obviously I'm not experiencing any of what these drivers are going through. So that's all I've got.
Yeah, I think we're dipping from the same source there, it has to be said, as Nelson might be coming under pressure here from Leo Jameson, potentially. And speaking of pressure, right into the wall goes the 9. But I thought he may have been able to do the old switcheroo on the final turn as he tries to get to the back of Jameson here to reclaim that position. But it looks like the 94 will hang on here, at least for now, as it looks like Jameson's going to get a good exit out of 1.
And what position would that be exactly for?
That position would be, that appears to be 4 and 5 on the track. So Jameson 4th, Nelson 5th.
And that be McCauley in 6th?
Indeed so.
All right.
As we'll stay right with that battle, I guess, as we're going to follow Leo Jameson here for a few seconds as he winds his way down through that long diving right-hander. I want to say it's turn 7, but my mapping may not be the best.
As 5, I believe.
Okay, so we've established that I can't count a few times here on the streams. This is yet another example.
It's okay, not everyone's great at math.
Math is hard.
Me neither.
As Jameson goes to complete another lap, he's through, trying to get to the back now of... trying to get to the back of Jonathan Peden. by the looks of things. Yeah, it's still Mercado. No, it's not Mercado. Yeah, it is Mercado leading the stage. So Peden's actually dropped back to third at the stage.
Peden has front end damage.
Okay, I wonder where he got caught up there then as we check on Bob Drew the third. Maybe just a little mistake there from the 53 a little bit earlier. And again, that's dropped him down to third, which really for the road course ace of the series, a little bit surprising, but would not be surprised if he factors into the end result here somehow, as Bob Drew is under a bit of pressure here now. Let's see who's trying to get him. Is that Marini, perhaps, in the all-white? Hard to tell.
These camera angles are not helping.
No. And yeah, it's definitely a white-on-white number.
Okay, yes. So I believe that does look to be Marini. That does look to be Marini. Yes, it is. It is.
All right. Good eye on that as Drew holds position here. And again, Marini, he's another guy on the outside looking in right now. So he's looking for points. And Bob Drew the third, a little bit of a cushion, especially now that he picked up a few more stage points in the opener. As now we'll go back to Janikowski as someone behind him hit the wall. I think that might be Dan Mattiello in the 14. He's one of those guys very much on the bubble, so to speak. As I believe he comes into tonight in 11th. Of course, Chase Beatty being in 12th. He'll be one of the 4 guys eliminated tonight as he was unable to race. But Janikowski, he's another guy who's fighting for position here. And it looks like he may have lost a little speck of time here. Whoa, contact there between Janikowski and I couldn't tell who was in front of him. That's Hunter Young. Meanwhile, being told we're on the final lap of this stage here now, so we'll wind it back to Jose Mercado, still our race leader. Looks like it's Mercado leading with, I think that's Nickens in second.
That would be.
Indeed so, as Mercado winds his way through here. Mercado, of course, for those who may have watched in season 1, part of a rather infamous incident within that particular section with a driver we shall not name. But it was definitely, it made for some interesting content, we'll put it that way, as Mercado makes his way down that back straight for the final time in the stage. Nickens trying to get to the back of him here, but it looks like Mercado's going to hang on. Nickens even getting a little loose through that final turn, and that is going to grant the number 41 GTR Motorsports Ford of Jose Mercado the all-important stage win in the middle frame here of tonight's Rampage Coffee Company 110 at the Glen.
I believe you may have the wrong flag.
I may, yeah. They're both green.
Fair.
I'm sure there's jokes about having the wrong name in there somewhere, but we'll leave that alone. But we can tell you the stage is complete. With Mercado winning, Nickens in second. I think Jameson may have actually moved up into third. We'll just get the confirmation here. We just received the top 10. And we'll take a quick look. Obviously, a quicker race in store here tonight, as the road courses tend to be here in this particular game. And let's just see. Yeah, we'll do a little bit of analysis here as we throw the old caution flag back on. And it looks like it's going to be Peden leading them away here as we begin the third and final stage already of tonight's Rampage Coffee Company 110 at the Glen. Peden holding station there on the outside. Mercado might have a straighter run out of it, but Peden building up a little speed. He maintains the position out of turn 1.
Well, yeah, we just got to pick up the intensity here. It's the final stage. It's the cutoff race. drivers got to go hammering at that to get those final couple spots there, especially those who are below the cut line. We saw Corbin McCauley get 5th place in the stage there. Those are very valuable points for him. There seems to have been a couple fireworks in the past 2 stages here involving him and a couple other drivers, so hopefully maybe things are a bit cleaner this time around, although maybe I might have just jinxed that completely, as there does seem to be a lot of contact as I was watching the stream for some better quality here. But yeah, Jonathan Peden is back to 1st place, as was the norm for him back in the first stage there. There seemed to be a couple of mistakes that happened in the second stage, but now he's rebounded. Is anyone surprised?
And I mean, when we're saying, well, I was gonna say mistakes, we're gonna put him, somewhere still near the top. He actually dropped out of the top 10 in that stage. So let's quickly go over that, as we'll bring our actual overlays live. So as we saw, Jose Mercado picked up the stage win and the additional playoff point that goes with it. Mike Nickens finishes 2nd, Leo Jamieson 3rd, Jacob Nelson 4th. As you mentioned, Corbin McCauley rounds out the top 5. Bob Drew the 3rd there in 6th. Mike Marini picking up some valuable points in 7th. Hunter Young grabs 8th. He was leading the best of the rest going into tonight. Tom Janikowski grabs 9th, and Dan Mattiello grabs the final stage point here. So trying to help his cause here a little bit as we come into the ultimate eliminator here. At the end of the stage, we'll be cutting from 16 to 12.
Can you confirm with your little... Do you have any standings there, whatever, that kind of sees where every driver is right now?
I will be trying to make that as we go along here, particularly for the bubble drivers. As we are watching Jose Mercado here on track. Again, stage 2 winner tonight. And looks like he's running in 2nd place still, although Mike Nickens might have something to say about that.
Oh, no, Nickens. What a
runs
beautiful
him on the
pass.
outside.
Beautiful pass.
I mean, that's tight quarters there, Riggs. So, yeah, put yourself inside Mike Nickens' mind there for a second. Like, the gusto to go for a move like that. I mean, obviously, he doesn't really have much to lose here, having won last week, but he still went for it.
I mean, yeah, he's got the win, but regardless, though, like, you still want to win races. Like, that's just the main goal of every driver, no matter what. Even if we didn't have the playoff, if we didn't have the playoffs, that would have been, like, very important for him right there. I mean, obviously, we do have the playoffs, so probably shouldn't use that perspective. But at the same time, though, you still want to win races regardless. You still want to have that success. You want to have that momentum. You have to think about that as a driver. So, yeah, it's... That I can only imagine what must have gone through his mind there. I'm sure he's probably, especially considering his positive attitude from the post-race interview that you had with him, I'm sure he was probably like, whoa.
Yeah.
And there seems to be something there with Jose Mercado. He falls back a couple spots there. It seems in turn 1 he kind of went a little bit wide.
He has indeed. Good eye on that, as he's now tucked right in behind his teammate Jacob Nelson. But he might be trying to make that move. He might be trying to come back here relatively quickly, but Leo Jamieson might have something to say about that right behind him as well. So that's positions 3 through 5 you're seeing on track. As we'll check in on the battle right behind them, 6 and 7. McCauley and Drew, they've been kind of almost magnetized here tonight. And it looks like Drew's going to hold on to 6th for now. McCauley in 7th.
Oh, he's trying to bump him. He's trying.
Might get a run on the inside here. There was
he bumped him up
for sure.
Oh, the fire! Oh, they're going. Oh, they're going at it. Oh, they're going at. Oh boy.
And yeah, McCauley comes out on the worst end of that particular skirmish, but I would not be surprised if he finds his way back up there. Right onto the back of the 6 once again, as we'll check now on Mike Nickens. And we will try and get through a little bit more of the field here in the 3rd and final stage. Obviously, a lot of battles toward the front. And stage 3, obviously, a little bit longer than stages 1 and 2 were. So we should be able to cover a little bit more of the field as we go along. As Nickens calmly winds his way around, Not sure if that turn's actually called the Sidewinder, but it would work if it was. As we move on to Jacob Nelson, who's tucked right in behind Mike Nickens. And so this is, I believe, second and third here you're seeing.
And there looks to be a fight between Leo Jameson and Jose Mercado right there. I can only imagine there'll probably be Bob Drew the third behind them and then Macaulay, although I might be wrong if I missed a car there, but I think I'm correct.
Yeah, again, we'll figure that one out as we go along as Nelson makes the climb up the hill once again. And now we'll check in on Leo Jameson, who, as you say there, he's right on the back of Jose Mercado now. As the two of them run down that straight into the S's. Pretty good car control from both of them that time around as they make their way down that long right-hander.
Here it comes down low. There's some contact.
Yeah, Jameson just trying to force his way inside there. But Mercado ultimately holds the place. As now we'll check in on Bob Drew III, who's built up a little bit of a gap between himself and Macaulay now. So Drew, I believe, still in sixth place based on what we've been seeing and hearing. And again, we should be getting into sort of the one green flag pit window here in the not too distant future. As Drew winds his way through turn one, we will go ahead and check. Well, talk about pit stops. There's Tom Janikowski coming in. And you see significant damage to the front end of that number 93. And I wonder if that is the reason for the pit stop, or maybe it's just a strategic thing, trying to get a bit of an undercut here on the road course. As you see, he's headed by a couple of disconnections there, I believe, in the form of Kevin Daigle and Jason Butler. I heard Butler just disconnecting there a minute or two ago as we bring it back out on track. Mike Marini, he's a guy who's still fighting for position. As, you know, he's grabbed some points here tonight. I'm still trying to get the math done. He came in 5 points out going into tonight. And as we've mentioned, he has grabbed stage points over the course of the evening. So Mike Marini, really all you can ask of him, he's giving himself a shot here, Reegs. As Janikowski makes his way out of pit lane, Marini, I think, is just going to try and wind past him here, but it looks like Janikowski's going to hold position. And that certainly won't be what the driver of the number 12 out of Thunder Bay would have wanted to see. As we check in for the first time with Dan Mattiello, another guy who was kind of in that playoff, or in the playoff bubble, made it in the final week of the regular season with a strong finish at Talladega. But it looks like he's sustained some damage to the front of that number 14. Oh, some contact there between Mattiello and I'm not sure who that was coming through.
That was the 55, I believe.
Of Trent Nielsen. That was going to be my guess, but did not have that confirmed. But it looks like Mattiello's made his way past here, and it looks like he's trying to build up a little bit of space there, and understandably so. As we move along now to reigning Earl Ross Cup champion Darcy Ford, kind of had a quiet evening so far. Grabbed a few stage points in stage one, I believe. But again, Ford just hasn't been he's turned in some strong performances, of course. Just the speed hasn't quite matched up to some of the top runners over the course of the season. As he comes through the S's, trying to see who he's looking to track down here. And he winds his way down through that turn. Might get a good run here. That's Janikowski and Marini ahead of him. As they come through the final couple corners to complete another lap. And they continue on for another lap here. Yes, they do. And there's the disconnected Kevin Daigle, as mentioned earlier. So we'll check in on our best of the rest leader going into tonight, Hunter Young, tucked in behind series founder Dan Cudmore right now. Thought Young might have gone for a move there toward the bottom or towards the inside of that final turn, but looks like cooler heads prevailed, and Young ultimately does make the move on the straight. And now they're coming up out of the back of Travis Tyson, a guy we haven't really talked about tonight, but he's very much in the thick of that playoff bubble picture as well. Matter of fact, I think he was tied for that final playoff spot going in.
Yes, that would be correct. Although the thing is, Chase Beatty was tied with him, so that actually would have put him in 12th anyways. But considering how Janikowski, McCauley, and Marini have been in this race, though, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of fear for him because it does appear he's more towards the back of the pack. So again, we don't know for sure, but it doesn't look very good, unfortunately. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows?
And again, I'm trying to do the math here in real time as Keim winds wide here. He's trying to make a move on Hunter Young. So we're seeing some competitive battles through the field. Keim trying every angle possible to try and get past the 20 here, and he might get him on the start-finish straight. Might have a little room. Did Tyson take a little bit of a dip there, maybe into pit lane? Not 100% sure.
They're blocking real hard.
Yeah, as Young gets it a little bit wrong going into one, but he might have the benefit of going wide here. And they're still door-to-door. What a battle.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, Reggie Keim's the one in the playoffs. Hunter Young is more so the leader of the best of the rest standings. So Keim is probably, you would think Keim would be more the one that would try to has to benefit from this. And it looks like he has thus far after some of that close racing there. And hopefully he can stay ahead and remain clean there after all of that, now that he's ahead.
Yeah, he did make the move there going into that straight as we check in on Andy Hurdle for the first time, driving that number 7 519 E-Racing outfit, and he ducks into pit lane. And there's Brandon Reed. He may have been another disconnection victim as well. I know he was mentioning that earlier.
Yes, he was the guy that said there was bad lagging, so yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, unfortunate there for the 36 out of Fort Worth, Texas, as we bring it back on track here for Reggie Keim. Came into tonight 9th in the standings. And the Muskogee, Oklahoma native just looking to keep it clean. And yeah, we're just getting word. We've seen a couple of cars come in already, but it sounds like officially the pit cycle is kind of underway as we check in on Travis Tyson here now. Again, one of those guys very much on the bubble, as we were referencing earlier. And yeah, we saw someone just duck into pit lane there from behind. Is this a situation where Mercado might be trying to lap Tyson? Certainly looks like the front of the 41. And Tyson works his way to the outside. Car goes through. And that does appear to be the 41 of Jose Mercado who's gotten through. As we check in on the 29 of Jonathan War here now. He came into tonight 10th. And again, I'm working to get the info out there in terms of where everybody is standings-wise. So again, just kind of checking in on 9 through 16. It feels kind of academic here, 1 through 8. Pretty well secure. But obviously things a little bit tighter in the bottom half of the standings. So, again, just working to get that info out. Okay, so as much as we said math was hard, real-time math isn't much better as we go now to Dan Cudmore here for the first time, or at least first time officially. As he comes through the S's, Cudmore very much in the best of the rest competition here this year, as he made the playoffs in each of the first 2 years. May have made it this year as well. Of course, he missed 1 or 2 races along the way. But ultimately, the 2 is fighting in that secondary competition now. As we will check in now There's Jason Butler disconnected. And so we'll bring it on track now. Keith Miller in the number 44 from Rochester, Minnesota. And Miller, again, part of that best of the rest competition, as, again, pit stops are very much in sequence right now. Just awaiting word of an updated order as folks decide to come in. And so we're getting word that our leader has just pitted, whether it was Peden or Mercado. We'll find out soon enough. There's John Peden in pit lane, so I think there's your answer. And Peden slowly working his way down to his stall here, right at the end of pit lane, of course. Pole sitter.
If I was seeing my eyes correctly, I think I just saw Ty Higginbottom using Chase Beatty's scheme.
You absolutely did see that correctly, and it was a point that he particularly made. So that is a shout out from the 97 to the 25 here of Chase Beatty. So that is a very good observation, Regan, and another sort of extension of what we were talking about in the pre-race show. As, Higgy, he's recognized Chase as a buddy of his through the sim racing world, and just wanted to give him an additional acknowledgement here tonight. So good move there from the 97 out of Kansas City, Missouri. Through the final turn.
Well, yes, from the interviews that we've had with him from his 2 wins, I believe it is, this season. He's a great guy. He's a very positive guy. We had an awesome talk with him. The chemistry was just right off the bat, and it does not surprise me at all that he's doing something like this. So incredibly respectful gesture, and it's just pretty much it's just evidence of skill both on and off the track, and if that's a proper way to put it. So an awesome gesture from him, and all I can say is even on the track as well, like, Higginbottom will continue to remain very solid, and hopefully, I guess statistically speaking, you would think he's probably the quote-unquote worst out of the 3 Tornado Alley drivers, but honestly, I don't think you can really use the term worst with any of them, because, good lord, all 3 of them have been the dominant cars this season. They've been, like, excellent, on par and everything. So, once again, a very respectful gesture from Higginbottom. I'll even say thank you for that, because that's very respectful, and we're thinking of you very much, Chase Beatty, and Ty Higginbottom. Hopefully, he continues to have success. Maybe even using that scheme brings him a little bit of luck in terms of maybe starting to maybe be the new dominator out here in this field.
Yeah, we'll see soon enough. Currently, the man very much in the driver's seat here. Again, not a huge surprise to see that on road courses would be Jonathan Peden, although has he come out behind Jacob? No, that might have been lap traffic letting him through.
Oh yeah, Jonathan
might have been a little bit of intrigue there in the final turn. But ultimately it looks like it was all for naught there, as that 53 is effectively on rails here tonight. Maybe a little bit of a wobble there in stage 2, but stage 3, he's showing who the man on these road courses is for the moment.
I believe that would make him the only winner on the road courses if that were to happen. Yeah.
It absolutely would.
And considering that as well, looking at the schedule, this is the last one, so obviously he would go 3 for 3. But that's the thing after this, though. The big question is, will he be able to prevail on the 5 ovals that we have to get through next?
It's going to be an interesting gauntlet here toward the end of the season, as again Peden just continues to run his way through the field, and as he comes onto the start-finish straight, let's see where Jose Mercado is. I believe he was second, and you see he's a couple of turns back here now. So if he's still in P2, there's an idea of what the gap looks like. So again, you're seeing the dominance come out in full force.
And we all thought in stage 2 that it may have all completely been wasted away after what was such a dominant first stage, but then he immediately shushed everyone, so...
He certainly did that, as I think I might have some updated standings here now. So, Corbin McCauley's been the big beneficiary here tonight out of the guys trying to make a jump, as he's picked up 10 stage points over the course of the evening. So, I think he's pulled himself into the top 12 right now. Chase Beatty obviously not driving tonight, understandably. Travis Tyson hasn't picked up any points. Tom Janikowski grabbing 4. He was 1 back going into this evening's race. And Mike Marini, he started 5 back. He's picked up 5 points. So a little bit of movement forthcoming. Just have to kind of figure out what that number ultimately looks like. And I should have that number momentarily.
So I can only imagine drivers like Reggie Kime, Jonathan Moore, and Dan Mattiello are probably kind of maybe in a little bit of trouble right now. Maybe even Travis Tyson as well. That's like 3 or 4 drivers right there that might be in trouble based on what you've said there. Because that's a lot of stage points for McCauley.
Yeah, and I mean, he's definitely done his job here so far tonight with 7th in stage 1, 5th in stage 2. So definitely coming to play tonight as Peden comes up on the back of Trent Nielsen. Four to go at the line, we're being told from race control, and it is in fact Jonathan Peden. Surprise, surprise, still leading the way as, again, it's 4 laps remaining.
Maybe we should try and get the post-race interview done right now, to be kind of honest. It's pretty much already done, if you think about it.
Well, you said that. He just wobbled out of turn 1, so you might have...
he should be okay, I think. Maybe.
Should be,
maybe.
The timing was still funny. As we'll check in now on Jose Mercado here in second place as he's coming up the hill. He's got Mike Nickens there behind him. I think it's either Nickens or Nelson, one of those two. Wait, did you see the same game physics I just did, Riggs? Because it looks like Mercado literally just drove straight through Nielsen, almost like a ghost.
I'm going to quickly check back on the stream here, and yes, that is correct. Nielsen's car literally turned into Phantom. So...
yeah, I mean, the green, you'd usually think of Ghostbusters there, but Nielsen himself turning into the ghost that time around.
I mean, in real life, those are 2 completely damaged cars.
Oh, absolutely it is. But Mercado certainly not giving up the ghost here tonight. But it's obviously a long way to go to get to Jonathan Peden, who has 3 laps to go. As he comes up onto that back straight. Into the S's, everything just looking super smooth, super comfortable as the 53 is looking for win number 4 of this season. He'd be the first to reach that mark, and to do it in 12 races is pretty impressive.
I mean, those when I get back here to the statistics as of the last race, I mean, yeah, 11 races, 3 wins, surprisingly no poles, but he does have 9 top 5s, 9 top 10s, no DNFs, 8 stage wins, and I would think by now that's 9 now. And playoff points, that's probably like 33 now. I believe he had 23 last race. Average start 9.55, an incredible average finish at 4.36. So, I mean, yeah, again, like we said in the past couple races, like Leo Jameson was the guy to try and beat in the first couple races, and then all of a sudden it was a complete swap back to a veteran, and now Jonathan Peden from Pensacola, Florida, United States. Yeah, it's the United States. It's a USA and it's an American invasion, basically.
Yeah, meanwhile, as you were talking there, I have to get a little more info on this development. I'm not sure who it was, but ultimately it sounds like someone may have had a rather unfortunate run here, as I don't know if someone got loose out of the final turn. I have to work to identify who that would be. Meanwhile, I think Jonathan Pedon's actually coming up to the white flag now. All right, so Corbin McCauley listening to me here as we are, in fact, on the white flag. So we got that real-time confirmation. So what happened, for anyone who happens to be a fan of Jacob Nelson, he got loose in that final turn, and ultimately it wound up with him winding up getting turned into pit lane. And it sounds like he may have gotten black flagged at the same time. So really
geez.
Unfortunate event there for the number 9. He was running in the top 5 all night.
I mean, yeah, heading into the race, 34 points above. I can only imagine he's probably still going to make it in, though, for sure, because that's still a lot of points, obviously, over the cut line. There's a lot of other drivers that are far lower points than he does down towards the bubbles. So, yeah, a bit of a funky situation there, but I'm sure he probably will still be fine. At the same time, though, might have just kind of lost a potentially terrific position there.
But it's hard to beat top spot as John Pedon comes down the start-finish straight for the final time. There's the checkered flag, and there's win number 4 on the season for the number 53 Tornado Alley E-Racing Chevy out of Pensacola, Florida. With it, obviously, the automatic advancement into the round of 12, which we're now going to find out who the rest of them are anyway. But really, again, outside of a little bit of a hiccup there in stage 2, as clinical as can be on a road course, and what more can you say about the 53 in this particular environment?
He made that second stage look like it was nothing, just nothing at all. Like it didn't matter whatsoever, which is quite funny. But yeah, once again, that's 3 for 3 on the road courses. 3 of his 4 wins on road courses, which I guess in a way you could be a little bit concerned because we don't have any more road courses now this season. It's all going to be ovals from here on out. But again, though, Pedon has been, based on statistics, Jonathan Pedon's only track of concern has been super speedways, but we're not even going to be on any of those on the rest of the schedule. It's all like short tracks and intermediates and stuff. And Pedon, I believe, has 1 win on an intermediate or short track. You probably have a better memory than I do of where it is, but yeah, he only has 1 win outside of the road courses, but he's always finished excellent on those other tracks. So yeah, he's still probably going to remain a contender from here on out, especially as we head into the next round.
Yeah, he's been very much right there, as you say, as